Welcome everyone to another video. Let's start the countdown because that's what's important. We've got 2 days before Monarch previews. Cannot wait. Goodness knows what they're going to be. We've got the pre-release first ed in 20 days, less than 3 weeks. Release of first edition, it's 27 days. 7 4s, 28, that's less than 4 weeks. Oh man, an unlimited release, 62 days away. Oh, cannot wait. Alright, so the 5 most slept on cards that I think that everyone is looking at what's a playable card and then looking at the alpha editions. And a lot of the talk on various channels appears to be, those type of cards. Let's look at the Enlightened Strikes. Let's look at, Command and Conquer and all of those and what are those cards doing. But there's a whole bunch of other cards which have big question marks on them that I think if you are speculating and an investor, you'd be like crazy not to even think about these cards. So I'm just going to go through them and my reasons why. Interested to hear your feedback and your comments, and maybe I missed some cards, so put it in the comments. But let's start with this, shall we? So the first card that I'm looking at, Crazy Brew. Now the reason why I say Crazy Brew, and it is such a random card, yeah, and what can you do on it? You got to understand that they did release that promo card with the tentacles all on the Crazy Brew. Now that may have been because it's a card that they don't see maybe use, and it was a safe bet in order to put the tentacles around and everything. But there's another card in this list that makes me think that anything that's with a roll could potentially see more play in the future. And if you're giving away your Crazy Brews and selling off your foils for cheaper than what potentially it should be, I think it's a mistake personally. So yeah, Crazy Brew, I think it still hasn't seen its place yet in the game, and with Monarch and the next set after that coming out, it may just have a little bit more playability rather than just a fun aspect to it, okay? Gambler's Gloves, and this is the other card I was talking about. Now I know people are not so much sleeping on this card. It is a card that's looked after and people want at least one in there. But on an investment front, Gambler's Gloves at the moment is used with Brute. But Brutes, look at this picture. Now if you look at the full picture, this guy is wearing steampunk goggles. He's got the cowboy hat. Look at his, just his whole makeup does not scream Brute at all. It's actually more towards Mechanologist or any of the other classes we may come to see. So this whole thing about the random roll, I think we're going to see more of as more sets come out. Maybe not in Monarch, but the next one after it, especially with the whole copper, silver, gold coins mechanic coming into it. I think we're going to see more of the gloves come into the game as a viable option for play. And yes, I think we're going to see more of what people are calling RNG in the formats, even though people don't like it and want less of it. Crazy Brew, Gambler's Gloves, and there's a whole bunch of other cards, mainly Brute reliance with the rolls, but I think we're going to see more of that. So if you can get onto your Gambler's Gloves, or maybe even the cold foils of these, or if they are a majestic, and like this was a super and this is a majestic, and most of these cards are going to be majestics or hard to get, but I don't feel that they've hit their price market yet. So if you're going to be getting these cards, I think now is the time to get it before Monarch drops, yeah? Gorganian Tome. Now this is a hard one to find. You do want it in foil if you can get it, but it's at a majestic slot and it just sits there, not really doing much. Now you might see it in 1 or 2 decks maybe type thing, and there is discussion about deck thinning helps you get the cards you need. Merely throwing out a card to draw another card, and that's all it really is. But I don't think we've seen the full aspect of that. And this month we got the Gorganian Tome Matte out for the Armory event. So I think there's more to Gorganian Tome than what is initially seen. You're like, well, why would I play it? Well, yeah, so draw X cards where X is 1 plus the number of Gorganian Tomes in all graveyards, and you can only play 1 in your deck. So yeah, I think there's a lot more behind that we're not seeing just yet. And this is a beautiful playmat, people. If you're lucky enough to win one, then yeah, keep it. I think it's a fantastic looking mat. All right, Snag, another card that's just sitting there at a majestic slot. You know, use it against Ninja, but what else? Like, when we first saw this card, we thought it was so great until we start looking at what you could use it against. Couldn't use it against Warrior, and I think there's more to come from this card, and speculation is that there is going to be seen more. It's got all the hallmarks of being a great card. It's a 3 pitch, it's a 0 cost. No, it doesn't block, but it is an instant. So yeah, if you can get onto the Snags now, they are quite expensive. I only think they're going to go up when we start seeing what they can actually be used for in future sets, yeah? So this is all speculation. Please take that into account. But I like to look at the other investment options, not so much what everyone else is looking at, yeah? Your Enlightened Strikes and everything like that. These are the other options that are affordable right now, which I don't think will be as affordable with the new sets released. And Kavdayan. All right, so Kavdayan is a rare character. Came in right after Mechanologist and right before Azalea in the crew set. So, you know, the Merchant Hero wasn't put into the generic section. There is, we're most likely going to see a Merchant Adult Hero, or I would think we would. Kavdayan appears to be a major character within Wraith. And now I think would be the time to grab this card before it goes up in price. I believe that over the next 2 sets, with the whole copper gold mechanic coming into it, that Kavdayan's going to find a bigger role than what has now. Yeah. All right, guys, that is the 5 cards that I believe you should be looking at. Crazy Brew, Gambler's Gloves, Gorganian Tome, Snag, and Kavdayan Trader of Skins. I will let it known that yes, I do sell cards online. None of these cards I believe I have online. So if people think I'm just trying to push cards in that, it's not the case in this. This is what I genuinely believe that I would do a video on in regards to what I would invest in if I had the chance. And yes, I do go looking for these cards whenever I can find them. I try and buy them, mainly due for investment purposes and to get my play sets as well. And if I can play with any foils, I will do that as well, as long as I'm not affecting the investment potential of them. All right. Thank you very much for your time today. If you do have any comments or feel I missed on anything, or you just don't agree, you think it's rubbish, put it down in the comments. Love to chat and yeah, have the discussion. Have a great one, guys. See you on the next video. See you all.